Good morning, people in the south. Good day, people in the east. Good afternoon, those who are in the west. And good evening, people in the north. I hope everyone is good. I hope everyone is okay. The previous episode we touched based on the disruptive innovations that changed the world, and we gave an example with a plant called a sisal plant, and that sisal plant it's going to be used today in this episode as one of the examples again for the textile sector. So today I'm double clicking on the textile sector as I've done previously with the agriculture. I've also done that with the environmental sector, and I did that with the energy sector as well. So I'm doing the double clicking today on the textile, which is another sector that needs to be looked into in terms of available opportunities there in the sector, which we can take advantage of and look into possible disruptive innovations that we can take advantage of as well and implement, take them through the disruptive innovation process for implementation. Remember, we have shared support systems and support programs that are available. We have shared their websites, so keep visiting those websites because more support programs are being loaded with different closing dates, so you can always find a more suitable support program that you can apply and support some of your ideas. So there's a new approach that the Department of Education of South Africa wants to take in terms of equipping the learners in different colleges. We call them TVET colleges in South Africa. So TVET colleges are going to now start phasing out the nated courses. So nated courses are N courses. We call them N courses. So we have N4, N5, N6. So they're going to phase all of those nated courses out. We have N4, N5, N6 in engineering, in business management, in IT, in whatever course that is. So they're going to phase them all out because they have realized that the system, that nated courses system, is no longer aligning with the current economy. So what the government wants to do is to introduce a new system which is going to equip the learners to be employment ready, meaning instead of you going through the nated courses, they are going to take you through some kind of practical exposure for you to be employment ready. So a video like this, it's going to be one of the information that they use to equip you such that you understand. Actually the channel like this, because here we talk about issues around entrepreneurship, issues around disruptive innovation, issues around working around your thoughts and turning your thoughts into ideas that can be transformed into fully fledged businesses, which can employ a good number of people, meaning that thought can be turned into employment opportunities. So they are going to start that process of phasing out the nated courses, and one of the focus area is entrepreneurship. So they want the learners to be employment ready, number one, and they want the learners to be entrepreneurship orientated, meaning you have to understand what entrepreneurship is. You have to understand things like disruptive innovation. You have to understand that your thoughts, the things that you're thinking, can actually be used to start or build a business that's gonna give you employment yourself. You understand? So I'm personally happy about the approach. I'm quite excited about it because it also creates an opportunity for people like us to get a market share in terms of sharing this information that we share on this channel, for those learners to have an opportunity to learn from us and grow from what the information that we share on this channel. So with that being said, we are going to look into the textile industry, which most of Africans are still taking it for granted. So the biggest players in this sector are mostly people who owns companies. It's people who owns companies that operates in the textile industry, and it's people who own companies that operate in the retail industry. It's people who own companies that operate in the mining industry. So it's never anyone who solely own a company that operates in that textile sector specifically, using their own knowledge and skills and entrepreneurial understanding, and so on and so forth. So there's a guy here in South Africa who started his business from while he was still at the university level. Actually, the business that he's running now, it's quite a successful business. He actually started the business as a project, as a university project, which he was involved in, and he eventually turned that project into a business. Now the business is probably employing a lot of people. His name is the name of his business is Maxhosa Africa. So Maxhosa Africa, it's a business that is a good example that is involved in the textile industry, where they are designing clothes basically, but they have a special way or an innovative way of how they design their clothes, how they design how their designs differs from the rest of the designs that we used to, So it's more like you are bringing something that we know, something that we used to. It's a t-shirt like this, but yours is made of material that gives a lot of ventilation, so to speak. So when you're wearing this t-shirt, it ventilates your entire body. But when they started with the business, I thought their products are solely going to be focused on the design that is gonna actually ventilate your entire body. So even if they sort of pivoted the business now, they have more products now on the shelves that are more like this one, but their traditional wow factor still remains, that they don't run away from the original design that we used to. So immediately when you see one of their products, you can tell that this is Maxhosa Africa. So this is one sector where we don't have a lot of Africans participating in, and most of the textile that we use, it's either, especially us in South Africa, it's either we import from India or we import from China or any other country in the Asian continent. But ourselves here, we don't really have one prominent supplier of linen or any kind of fabric that we produce ourselves and we supply to some of our fishing designers and stuff like that. There are this one and that one whom are trying, but they are a handful. It's not so many. So we need to give much more attention to this sector, because there's a whole lot of opportunities that lies within this sector. I know there's people who are taking advantage of this already, and I'll talk about them towards the end of this video. So again, the sisal plant. As I explained how we used the sisal plant from the previous episode, that we used it as a social media system and or social media platform. And this time around in Textile, we can actually use the sisal plant to produce yarn. Yarn, I'm sure everyone understands what yarn is. Yarn is material made of different sources, but it's able to produce the thing that makes the cloth, or the thing that makes the fabric. So the thing that they put together to make this fabric, it's called yarn. So for this thing to be called a fabric, it's made of yarn. So we can't say yarn is made of fabric, but fabric is made of yarn. So yarn is made of a certain source. So one of the sources that can produce yarn is sisal plant. So what happens is, if you plant or if you farm with sisal, when it has grown enough, you harvest the largest leaves of the sisal, and then you allow the small ones to continue growing. Then they go through the process of or the method in which they are processing the leaves to become yarn. It goes through the process of peeling the top layers of the leaves, and then as you peel, you are left with some kind of yarn-like material. You can actually pick one fiber from the leaf and pull it out, literally. So that's what you'll be left with after peeling off the entire leaf. So they use that material that they find after peeling up the entire leaf to produce yarn. Then they wash that thing, they wash the entire thing, they put it on a roller, then the roller rolls it perfectly, and then they put it on the one of the systems that is able to separate this fiber in single pieces of fiber, and then it washes it as single pieces of fiber, and then they dry it off. After drying it off, then they are able to now put it together as a complete yarn. So they will put it together and the machine will roll it through, and then it will become a complete yarn. The yarn has been washed, dried, and it's now a yarn, complete yarn. And then they are able to knot it together to become whatever required length of any type. Then they are able to roll it in or package it in rolls and bags and packs, and then load it somewhere and export it to whoever who requires it. So whoever is going to use that yarn, they're going to use that yarn to produce fabric. They're going to use that yarn to produce any type of cloth. They're going to use that yarn to produce anything else that you use from the textile industry. So they're all from the sisal plant. So in South Africa, our climate allows us to grow sisal, or sisal plant can grow more successfully in this country, and we don't even need to look after it somehow. You just have to maybe plant them in a row and allow them to grow. When it rains, they grow on their own, because they're evergreen plants. They don't really need too much rain. They can survive without rain. the leaves themselves contains a lot of water, and they can grow anywhere. You don't even have to plant them. They just fall from that stalk, that chandelier of yellow flowers. They fall down, then they start growing from there. So you don't really have to contribute your skills in terms of growing that thing. Naturally, it grows on its own. All you do is harvest, process that thing, and export. That's it. So where is the opportunity now in this yarn production? Now we have to think around the fact that in today's economy, a lot of people are losing their jobs, or a lot of people are unemployed due to the fact that we have industries, or we have factories that operate automatically, so they don't require human intervention, or they don't require human capital. So most of those factories, they are operated by AI, artificial intelligence. So everything else in the factory, it's automated. You might find a very large factory being operated by 2 people. They're just there to oversee and manage the entire process by just making sure that things are running smoothly and there's no hiccups. So when you say you leave your college, you are equipped, you are employment ready, you are entrepreneurship ready, and you want to now start to participate in the real economy. The real economy, it's the economy that is in the townships. The real economy is in the villages. That is the real economy. It's the economy that is in a situation where people go out. Actual people are actually going out to pop money from their pockets and buy something in exchange with a certain good. That is a real economy. So we mostly find that where in the township, we mostly find that where in the villages, and most of our retail companies have relocated from the big cities or from the malls. They have actually came closer to the real economy. They came closer to the township, so that people now just walk from home to the one of the biggest retail stores, which we used to travel by bus long distances to get to the mall, to get to town, just to go and buy some goods from those type of retail stores. So today, all of those retail companies have come closer to the real economy. So when you leave college with that readiness, at least try and consider the fact that you are going to have to participate in the real economy. So look out for your factories, look out for your ideas to build factories which are going to create employment, to be established in the real economy. Don't go and build your factories in the cities. Don't go and build your factories in big cities or towns or places that are furthermore away from the real economy. Go and build your factories in the real economy, whereby you can actually start looking into the opportunity within this sector in terms of sisal plant farming. So this very same sisal plant that I said does not require most of your intervention to grow. You can actually start farming the sisal plant. If or as long as you have sufficient and enough land to grow this thing, there's no need for you to get maybe a large amount of supply of water. No, just get the land. Even if it's not huge land, even if it's a small land, get that land, get few sisal plants, small ones, plant them in rows, so that the rows will allow you to harvest whenever you want to harvest, enough space for you to walk around and harvest, and then let that thing grow. It doesn't take that long to grow. Once it starts growing, it will give you more small sisal plants as it starts blossoming, and then you will use those sort of seeds to grow furthermore and expand or scale your sisal farming business. So it's another part of our economy that we've been neglecting. We used to have factories in South Africa where sisal plant used to be processed, and we used to be one of the biggest suppliers of yen in South Africa because we had sisal farms. But that has been neglected. So it's another opportunity for us, for young people across the continent, to take advantage of this thing and bring it back. Innovate on this thing. Find a better way of doing it. You grow the sisal plant, you harvest the sisal plant, you export the sisal leaves without processing them. Export them. As you are growing them, find people who need a supply of sisal leaves, and then you export those sisal leaves in big packets, in big packages, to whoever who needs to process them for yen. As you do that, you make a little bit money, you buy equipment, and then you start processing your own leaves. Then you're no longer exporting only the leaves, you're also exporting the yen at the same time. So you're going to export the leaves, and you're going to process your own leaves. At the same time, you are sending out yen for those who now needs only the yen to process and produce fabric. Do you know how much employment that is going to create? Because many factories today rely on AI. You are going to now start creating or building a business that is not necessarily going to, or you're going to innovate in a business that is not necessarily going to require a lot more of AI, but human capital. So when we innovate on our businesses to solve our unemployment problem, let's all consider the fact that the reason we're talking about unemployment is because we're talking about human beings here who do not have employment. So we cannot be coming up with ideas that are not going to solve this problem. Ideas like, I want to build a robot, this robot is going to hand people, is going to help washing dishes. Those are first world problems. We don't have first world problems here. We have third world problems, real problems. So you can't be coming up with innovations that are not going to help us. It's just innovations for things that are nice to have. We have a robot at home, but people are still unemployed. It's a nice thing to have. It's a nice innovation. It's good. The robot works like us, like human beings, but it's not helping the problem that we're facing, which is unemployment. So let's come up with innovations that are going to become businesses that need human capital than AI. So we need to create businesses that are going to force us to employ people for the businesses to thrive. How many people do you know who are doing sisal farming? Zilch. Zero. And at home, wherever you are, if you look around, if you look through the window, there's a line of sisal plants around your yard. If it grows towards your yard, you even cut them. Then you collect the leaves and you go throw them away somewhere. That leaf is full of water. It will take the leaf about 4 months to dry out. For the leaf to dry out, it takes about 4 months or 6 months to be dry. It tells you there's something in this thing. You can actually take out the water from the leaves, find a use for this water as well. We can maybe use the water for something else, So once you start exporting the sisal plant, you're also concurrently exporting the yen. Then you are growing your yen production factory, you are growing your sisal plant farm. Then you introduce yen production factory as well. Fabric production factory. Now you own the entire value chain of your textile business. The entire value chain. A value chain is it's a system that helps you to produce the things that your business makes money with, or the things that the business make money from. So what systems are you using? Are you using to produce your products, the things that make the products what it is. So all of those things, everything, everything, human capital, money, we look into all of those things, and they are all called value chain. They are all called value chain. They are called value chain in this way. You plant your own sisal plant. You plant your own in your own farm, and then you are able to reproduce the sisal plant. You are able to collect the leaves. You are yourself with your own tools. You are able to export the leaves with your own trucks. You are able to take some of the leaves and process them in your own factory, with your own machines in the factory or your own machinery. And then you are also able to produce your own fabric with the yarn that you produced yourself, and you can sell the fabric. So that entire thing is called value chain. From when you plant, actually from the farm itself, the land, it's yours. The plants, you own the plants. That's inventory, you own the plants, it's your plants. If you have 50 sisal plants, it's your inventory, it's your assets. Your trucks that exports, transports, distributes, your factory facilities, all the machinery inside the factory, it's yours. People that works there, you don't outsource those resources. It's your people, you hire them. The machines that are producing the fabric are your machines, and then you sell the fabric. So the cost of the entire production is going to be lesser than when you don't own a part of that value chain. So the entire thing is called a value chain because it adds value to each other. It becomes, at the end of the process, you are selling something of value, and then you are able to get something back. So it's a chain of things that adds value to the thing that you're going to sell. That is called value chain. I hope I explained it better. So if you own a business and you are able to own your end-to-end value chain, you must just know you've made it in life. You've made it in entrepreneurship, because a lot of people who own businesses, or a lot of people as entrepreneurs, they don't own end-to-end of the value chain of their businesses. They own one part or one piece of the rest. They're outsourcing. The rest, they're getting people to come and assist them. So this is another sector where we can tap into and create a whole lot of employment for our people in Africa and the world at large. And this as well must come as an attention to the guys who are going to be leaving the university or the college level, being employment ready, entrepreneurship ready, that at least try to avoid to go into business in groups. Do your thing alone. Don't be afraid to fail alone, because people go into groups because they're thinking, when we fail, we will always blame the group. Someone just came up with an idea to charge the money, so we decided to eat all the money, and then we closed down. Take things on your own. Take ownership of everything. Own your entire value chain alone. You're not going to come across a lot of problems that some of us came across. Some of us, we experienced the negative part of doing business in groups or doing business with partners. We go 50-50. It's my business, it's your business. Some of us learned the hard way. I learned the hard way myself. I had to do business with someone who was not on the same level as me in terms of understanding entrepreneurship. So when you say all the money that we make, we reinvest by buying equipment, say, no, we must charge the money. Let's eat the money. So make sure that you avoid going into business in groups and partnerships. Do your thing alone, one man. Nothing stops you to do that. Do your thing alone, one man. Come up with your own ideas. No one is gonna argue with you. You are yourself, and you're gonna run with them alone. That's it. So let's innovate into the sector, and then let's make it the point that when we start innovating around this sector, we keep in mind that our disruptive innovations are in line with the fact that we are going to create more space for more people to come and work instead of more space for more machines to come and work. This is the perfect opportunity for us to innovate such and create employment. Textile sector. So we are sleeping on this. We are sleeping on this sector, and it's one of the most overlooked sector in our economy. Most of us, we want to go into IT, we want to go into IoT, we want to go into robotics and all of this. You can still do those things at the later stage and implement them in your own businesses or in your own business in other sectors. Maybe you can go into ITC and implement all of those things that maybe you had interest in. But first, let's start here. Create employment, create businesses that are going to require human capital more than AI. So today I see a lot of women are coming into the space. A lot of women are coming up with new businesses where they are producing different types of hats. So the types of hats that they're producing are made of wool, but most probably they are buying that wool from somewhere. And wherever they're buying that wool, they are not the producer of that wool. They're also buying it from somewhere. Wherever that wool is being bought by the guy who's selling the wool to the people who are doing the hats, is being supplied by someone where the wool has been imported from somewhere in Asia. The same yarn that made the wool, or the same material that made the wool, could possibly be grown or made in our own country. So I see a lot of ladies are into this business now. It's a trending business. A lot of ladies are coming into. I see a lot of them are starting to take it easy on the scones. I know South African ladies, most of them when they go into businesses, they start with scones. It's a good thing. Start with scones. It's the best thing to start with because you will be learning how to serve your customers, how customers works and stuff like that. But I see now you are coming into the textile industry. You are producing these hats made of wool. They call them crochets. It's these different types of hats made of wool. So they're very nice. They look very nice, and they are mostly coming into the space. I know a cousin of mine is also doing that. I'll show you one of her work, and then I'll advertise and share her contact so that you can contact her and place orders. He can actually deliver everywhere, anywhere across the country. He can produce in numbers. He can produce in large numbers. He can actually produce and supply someone who wants to distribute. So it's called crochet or crochet. Yeah, you are doing very well with those things. We like them, we see them, and it's a very good business idea. But find a way to innovate around that and start producing your own wool and use that method that you use to produce your own wool to employ people who will be able to produce that wool for many of us so that we can start producing our own textile material and then build our own factories and employ people. So the biggest challenge that we have in this country is unemployment. Let's first focus on that and grow those factories, and then fight these unemployment challenges, and later we'll deal with other things, IoTs and AI and stuff like that. So that's it that I had for you for today. I think this is going to add value to your crochet business. This will add value to your textile business. One day I hope to meet you producing fabric, having a factory that produces large amounts of fabric in tons, and then exporting some of it to other countries across the continent, across the world, and don't be shy to shout out, or I did this because I saw this video, I got motivated by this video, and then you were able to open my eyes, you were able to show me that it's possible, and then I was only seeing it up to me buying the wool and doing the crochet. I couldn't get my mind around the entire value chain. Now that I understand that there's something called value chain, I can go out and build my own value chain. Don't forget the pop-up. There's gonna be a pop-up here where you can actually click and subscribe. So click on that pop-up. It will be the face of this channel, and just click on that face and then click on subscribe and subscribe to this channel and receive more information about our economy, about our entrepreneurship, about disruptive innovation. Thank you very much for being part of this, and I appreciate your time. So I will see you next week.